You're listening to the WWNO Classical Network. Hi, this is Paul Mawson. Each week, we carve out a couple of minutes and check in with Dave Walker, who hosts the Museumgoer.com, and find out what's going on in the museum scene this week. Dave, welcome back.
Howdy, Paul.
All right, what are we looking at for this week?
Well, this week, the National World War II Museum will host its annual American Spirit Awards Gala this weekend. And this year's honorees include Steve Gleason, former New Orleans Saints player and co-founder of the Team Gleason ALS Advocacy Foundation, film composer John Williams, and a whole category of World War II veterans, Rosie the Riveters, the American women who were wartime workers. These are the Americans who went to work on the home front to stock the World War II arsenal of democracy when the nation's males were called to military service. Jobs once available only to men in factories and shipyards became open to women who answered the call to support the Allied forces as welders, aircraft assembly and munitions manufacturing technicians, and yes, riveters. It's no wonder that We Can Do It items featuring the iconic Rosie design are among the museum store's best-selling merch. The museum will have about 20 World War II era Rosie the Riveters on campus for the weekend, which will also include a film screening, a concert of John Williams compositions by the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra, and a leadership forum with student honorees from around the country.
So based on the ticket prices, this is a fundraiser for the World War II Museum, which is great. Um, but is there an opportunity to meet some of the Rosies you just talked about without going all in on the gala?
There is. At 11 a.m. Saturday, the museum will mark the 82nd anniversary of the D-Day invasion of Normandy with a ceremony that will include the presence of the Rosies who've come to New Orleans for the American Spirit Awards honor. That event will take place in person and online and is free both ways. Register to attend or watch or learn more about the weekend's other events at nationalww2museum.org. In public programs and other museum news, tonight the historic BK House and Gardens will host authors Rory O'Neill Schmidt and Rosary O'Neill to discuss their historical novel, The Blood of the Baroness, Michaela de Pantable, Shot, Betrayed, and Unbreakable. That's at 6 p.m. More bkhouse.org. At 6 p.m. Thursday, the Ogden Museum of Southern Art will host another Culture and Cocktails sesh, this one carrying the theme The Essence of Abstraction, Dusty Bonget's Coastal Spirit. More at ogdenmuseum.org. Friday brings a Noma at Night celebration of the exhibit Robert Gordy outside the mainstream, featuring live music, gallery talks, specialty cocktails, and mocktails, art making, and more. Start time at 6 p.m., more at noma.org. And Sunday is the final day to catch the Historic New Orleans Collection exhibit, The Trail They Blazed, an overview of the local civil rights movement of the mid-20th century. This exhibit was collaboratively composed with the movement participants and their actual voices, collected through the oral history project NOLA Resistance, can be heard in the gallery. A traveling version of the exhibit will continue to roam. More at hnoc.org. Reminder, museum programs often have a limited capacity. Be sure to follow the URLs if you plan to attend, check availability, and reserve your spot.
Yeah, and that the Trail They Blazed exhibit is excellent exhibit, very moving too, if you go to see it.
It is lots of ways into the story in that exhibit. It's really beautifully curated.
Well, if you want more information on anything we've talked about, check Dave's website, themuseumgoer.com. Dave Walker, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
See you then.